Hello everyone and welcome. Today I will model this lovely elegant side table. I will go through the modeling process, materials, lighting, camera adjustment, and finally I will render this out. So let's get started. This is a new scene and I will delete everything, select everything by pressing A and then press X and then confirm to delete. And I will add a plane, Shift A, mesh plane. I'll press N on my keyboard and I will adjust the dimension. So I'll start with the X and Y. The value is 4040 centimeter. And now in order to zoom into the selected object, press the tilde key and then click on view selected. Okay. There is another quicker way to achieve this. You should know the location of this button. So at the moment it is in the bottom right hand corner. Okay. So I'll just right click to cancel it and just watch. Press and move the mouse. Yeah. Just pressing one keystroke and that is the tilde key. Don't wait. If you wait, then you have to click. Okay. Just press and move the mouse. All right. So I will press tab and I will press E to extrude. Okay. So I'll take it to 3.5 centimeter. Okay, this is fine. And I will switch to the face selection. The top face is already selected. I will select the bottom face as well. And I will delete these two faces. Press X and then click on faces. Okay, so I'm just left with this border outer shell. Okay, press tab to go into the object mode. And now I will give thickness to this by applying the modifier. But before that, let me check the scale. Yes, I need to apply the scale. Press Ctrl A and then click on scale. Okay, so now it's good to apply the modifier. So come over here to modifiers and then click on add modifier and click on solidify. Okay, so the thickness value I will give is 2 centimeter. I can reduce this maybe 1.7. Okay, 1.7. I will go with this value. Okay, and now I will click on this arrow and apply the thickness. All right. Okay, now I will make some adjustments. Press tab and I will switch to the edge selection. And I will press Alt and then left click on it. And now I will add bevel to it, Control P, and use the mouse wheel to add more loop cuts and left click to accept it and then expand the settings. Let me give the value 6 with 3 segments in total. Okay, so this is good. And I will apply the same bevel to this corner as well. So Alt click and press Control B and I can just enter the value 6 and press enter. Okay, this is good. And now I can duplicate this. So press Shift D to duplicate. And I will press Z to move it straight up in the Z axis. And I will type in the value 28. Okay, so this much I will raise it up. And I will duplicate this one more time. Press Shift D and Z. And I'll take this up by 18 centimeter. Okay, so we have more gap at the bottom and we have less at the top. Okay, so now I will make connections. So I'll make connection between these two. So first I will merge the two together. So shift click to select both and press Ctrl J. Okay, first I will work with these two and then I will move up. All right, so in order to make connection, I will switch to the face selection and select these three faces. Okay, and then I will shift to add these three faces as well. And now I need to make the connection. So there are multiple ways to do it. I'll right click, and then this is the one, bridge faces. Click on it. So we have a connection going on. Same thing I will do with this one. So select these three and then add these three as well. And right click and then click on bridge faces. Okay, so we have made the connection. Okay, this is looking fine. And now I will merge the last piece as well with the bottom. So I will select this and shift click on this and then press Ctrl J. Okay, and press tab, deselect everything, come over here, and in order to make some connection, I will make a connection from these two sides. Okay, so I will first add loop cut, press Ctrl R, bring the mouse closer, this much, and I'll note down this value. Let's make it 0.8, enter. Okay, I'll change this to 0.85. Okay, and I'll remember this value. So press Ctrl R, then click, and then move the mouse somewhere closer, and I can just enter the value, the same value in the negative, minus 0.85. So now I have in equal distance, I have to add the loop cut. Okay, so the same value will apply for the bottom as well. So I'll press Ctrl R, click, and then I can just type negative minus 0.85. Same thing with this one, Control R, click, and then just enter the value 0.85. Okay, this is good. So now I can switch to the face selection, select these two faces, shift click here, and then right click, click on bridge faces. Okay, now you can see we are getting closer to the shape that we want. Same thing I will do on this end. I remember the value. So I'll start with the top one, press Control R, click, and then just bring this mouse over here. So this is in positive. So I will enter this value 0.85. So this one will be in negative. So Control R, click, and then minus 0.85. Same thing with this one. Control R, click, and then minus 0.85. This one will be in the positive. Control R, click, and then enter the value 0.85. Okay, I'll switch to the face selection and select these two faces. Hold shift to add to the selection. And then another method to make a bridge connection is come over here to edge and then click on bridge edge loops. Okay, this is what we get. Perfect. So the basic shape is ready. This is called blocking out. So this is done. Now I will go into adding more detail to it, refine it. Okay. Basically, in order to apply the mesh smooth modifier, I would need to add more loop cuts to hold this shape. All right. So let's begin. I'll start with the top, press Control R, click, move this all the way up just to keep this tight. Control R, and then bring this all the way down. Okay, this is good. Same thing I will do with this one. In order to keep this surface flat and not more rounded when the mesh smooth is applied, let me apply and show you how it looks like, subdivision surface. And you can see I don't want it to be rounded. I want to keep the original flat. So I want to keep that flat surface. Okay. So I'll remove that for now. Press tab. So press Control R, click and drag, take it all the way to the end, and then do it again for this end. Control R and click and move it all the way out. Okay, now this will hold it nicely. And same thing I will do with this side. Control R for the bottom. Click and bring it out. Control R and then bring it out. Okay, just roughly. And now I would like to show you something. First, I will apply the mesh smooth modifier. Now, what is happening over here? So let me increase the value. In order to keep let me turn this off, smooth display. So in the edit mode, in order to keep this straight, hold this shape tighter, I need to add more loop cuts. Okay. So the first thing is I will add one loop cut over here, press Ctrl R, bring this closer. Okay. Same thing I will do with this one, press Ctrl R and then bring this closer. Now press tab and see the result. Yeah, it's getting better. So I need to add two more loop cuts for the top and the bottom. Control R, click and take it all the way up. Control R and take it all the way down, just roughly. See the result? Yep, this is looking better. This is what I want. Okay, this is good. And for some reason, if you want to edit and you want to move the position of this loop cut, what you can do is alt click. It will select the entire edge loop. And then here's the shortcut. Press G twice. G. And you can slide this further. Okay, this is good. And now let me do the same thing on this side. Press Ctrl R and then bring it closer over here. Press Ctrl R and then bring it closer over here, just roughly. Okay, press tab. So this side is almost good. Let me check what's happening over here. I need to add the loop cut on this side, just like I have added the loop cut, as you can see. So I need to add a loop cut. Control R and then bring this all the way out. Control R, bring this all the way out. Now press tab and see. Now it's much better. Okay. All right. And I can add further in between to reduce this slight line that you see it's coming over here. I can reduce it by adding more over here, but I will not do it at the moment. So let's continue. And then I will come over here and I will do the same thing. Press Ctrl R and move it all the way up. Yep. Press Ctrl R and move this all the way down. And press tab. Yeah, good. So I need to bring the loop cut so that it can hold the shape from this side. Press Ctrl R. Bring it over here. Press Ctrl R and then just bring it over here. Roughly. Yep, it's getting better. Okay, let's come over here and let's fix this side as well. So I'll press Ctrl R, then bring the loop cut closer. Control R and then bring the loop cut closer. Okay, press tab and see. Looking better. And now I think I should add a loop cut to fix this problem. Let's do it then. Press Ctrl R and just slide this out. Same thing over here. Press Ctrl R. Just slide this out. Okay, so now it is fixed. Now let's come over here. Oh, this is good. Let's go to the bottom side. Press Control R and then just bring this out just to keep this face flat. Yeah. So come over here. Now I need to give some loop cuts as well. Control R, bring this all the way up closer. Control R and then bring this down all the way. Okay, so you get the idea. So press Control R, bring this closer, press Control R, bring this closer. Let's take a look. It's getting better. Same thing over here. Control R, bring this closer. Control R and then bring this closer. Okay, this is a quick way to keep on adding loop cuts. Now I will add loop cut on this side. Control R and bring this closer. Slide it further, press GG, then just move it in. Okay, so yeah, this is looking much better now. Okay, it's time to fix this side. So I'll press Control R, bring this closer. Okay, press Control R and then bring this closer. Good. And I can add loop cuts over here so that keep this surface more flat. Control R and then just keep it tighter. And then finally this corner as well. Just bring it closer. Just bring it closer over here. Yeah, this is good. Now I'm left with this one. So again, press Control R, bring this all the way up. Control R and then bring this down. And press Control R, bring this closer. Same for this one, Control R and then bring this closer. As you can see, there's a lot of loop cuts to add in order to keep the shape the way we want to hold it. All right, and then I can add, oh, it's already added over here from the bottom as well. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the result so far. Nice and clean, looking much better. Okay, and now the next thing is I will add the glass surface to it. So easiest way to get the glass surface of the same shape is to extract the edges from the existing shape. So press tab and come over here, alt click to select this outer edge, the inner edge. Okay, and then I can extract this. Press P and then click on selection. Okay, so here you go. So just I will click on this and it comes with the subdivision modifier that was with the original mesh. Now I can move this and adjust it. Press G and move it down in the Z slightly. And then I can go into the edit mode, select all, and then create a face. Press F to create a face. Okay, now this one I would like to give thickness. So I can add a solidify modifier. Click on solidify and let's take a look in the wireframe. Let me reduce the thickness. I can hold shift so I can move it precisely. So 0.2. Okay. So this is good. And then I can duplicate this. I'll just rename this. I'll call this glass. Okay, this is fine. And now I can duplicate this. Shift T to duplicate and press Z so it can come down straight in the Z. And I can just leave it somewhere over here. So we have a nice border. Okay. Same thing that we did in the top. All right. So now one more. Press Shift T to duplicate and then bring it down in the Z. Okay. So this is the result so far. Now I can come here in order to fix this faceted looking shading. Click on this, right click, and then click on Shade Auto Smooth. Not the first one, but the second one. Okay, and then this will fix that shading issue. Now it's more smoother. So the modeling part is complete. Now I will add materials to it. I'll select the frame of this table and come over here to the material properties and click new to create a new material. Okay, and then I will give this a color, something blue, okay, darker blue. Okay, and then let me switch to the material preview, press Z and then click on material preview. Okay, and then I will increase metallic value and reduce the roughness. So I get some nice shine over on this. Okay, so it's nice. I'll rename this table. Okay, so click on this one, which is called glass, and press new to create a new material. Okay, and I'll quickly name this glass. All right, so for the glass material, come over here and click on this one, and the value I will make it full white. Okay, next thing is the roughness. I will make this roughness all the way to 0. Okay, and then come down further, and the value that I will be changing is the transmission. So I'll increase the transmission and I will take this to all the way to 1. Okay, and that's it. Now I will select this one and then I'll use the same material that is being used for the first one. So click this arrow and from the drop down I can click on glass. Same thing I'll repeat and I will select glass. Okay, so now I have this material over here. Now I will create a little bit environment for this to work. So I will add a plane, Shift A, Mesh Plane. Now I'll scale this out. Okay, and just bring it over here. And now I will create a wall. Okay, for the wall, I will duplicate this, Shift D, bring it over here and rotate this along the y-axis and then enter the value 90 and then click on this so I can easily move to the side view and then just bring it over here. So this will serve as the wall. Zoom in and then I can just bring it down, just take it up a little bit, and I need to have a skirting. So what I will do is press tab, Control R, and then click and bring it this down. Send it over here, and then I'll switch to the face selection. Click on this face, and then Shift D to duplicate. And now I can press P to extract that selection. And now this is a separate piece. And first I will apply the scale. As you can see, the scale is off. Control A, click on scale. Now I can go to the modifiers and then add the solidify modifier. And the thickness is going in the wrong direction. So I'll change this to -1. Okay. And I can make this -1.5. All right. And I can add a little bevel modifier to it. So add modifier and click on bevel. And I can scroll down and reduce the value and see if I can find anything better. I can hold shift while I move this. Okay, this is fine. 0.3. So now I will start to give material. Let me switch to the material preview. All right. So this flooring, I will give a material, new material, and it will be a slightly grayish tone. and it will have reduced roughness. Okay, and then reduce roughness a bit more, add a little bit of a metallic, sorry. Okay, and now I will apply the material to the skirting. This is going to be more a white color skirting. Okay, and now this one I will give a color, new material. This is going to be wall, and the material that I will give is going to be a slight pink. Okay, looking fine. Now I will add the camera. Shift A and click on camera. The camera is added. So I press the tilde key and then click on view camera. Okay, so in order to adjust the camera view, come over here to the view and then lock the camera to the view. So once I check this, I can move the camera just like I move in my perspective view, and I can adjust the camera position. Okay, so somewhere here for now, I can adjust it later on. And now I will uncheck this so that I don't move the camera by accident. And now I will add light to the scene. So Shift A and go to light, and I'll create an area light. So in order to come out of the camera view, and once this is not checked, I can easily come out of the camera view by just orbit around in the viewport, just like we do it in the perspective. Okay, or we can just press the tilde key and then click on view camera. Once again, it will toggle the switching between the camera and the viewport. Okay, so the light that was created, it's here sitting on the ground. I will move this up, press G and then press Z to move it up straight. And I can turn on the render preview. I will reduce the size, come to the light properties, and then the size over here, I will reduce it to 50. Okay, and I would like to change the render setting. At the moment it is EV. I'll change this to cycles. Now you can see looking much better. And I will move the light to the side, and I will come over here and give the light a little bit of warm tint. Okay, and then I will go to the top view and I will duplicate this light. I'll switch to the material preview, Shift D, and then just move the light over here. Okay, and I'll switch back to the camera view, turn on the render preview, and then this second light that I have created, this I will try to give a different color, and I'll increase the intensity just to see the effect. I can either increase it or decrease it, but I would like to keep it low, and I would like to increase the intensity for the first light, this one. Okay, and give a bit more warm tint. And I'll select the second light and move it down. Press G and then press Z. Just bring it down. I don't know where it is. Let me check in my perspective. I will move it down and I will rotate the angle of this light. So let me shift to switch to the orthographic view and then press R to rotate so that I am shooting at the wall. Okay, so I have light with two different color. Increase the intensity, and let me switch to the camera view and change the color tint a little bit bluish. Then switch back to the first light, and then I will add some more warmth to it. Okay, and now I will select the flooring, and I'll make the flooring a little bit darker. So come over here to the material properties. So this is the color. I'll take this and then reduce it, and I can increase the reduce the roughness a bit more. Okay, reduce it further, make it a little bit darker. Let me deselect this. Okay, so now this is looking fine. The glass is fine. Let me select this, and I'll try to move it here in the y-axis going this way. So press G and press Y. So I can just move it and check. Let me bring the light down, press G and Z, and I can select this and increase the specularity a bit more. Yeah, maybe reduce the roughness just a little bit. Okay, select this light. Now I would like to reduce the spread, increase the intensity, and reduce the spread. Okay, let me reduce the intensity now. Let me see if I can find a different color that is this. And then let me change the color of this one. And let me select this material, change the color and make it a little bit more interesting. So I can increase the lightness and increase the saturation all the way up. Okay, and I can reduce the roughness a bit more. Maybe try to increase the metallic. Let me see if that works now. Okay, the metallic is fine. Okay, this is about it. And now I can go ahead and render it. I will just try to adjust the camera one final time. So I'll click this, and I'll just try to adjust the camera and see if this I can find a better view. Try to move it closer. Okay, so this is it, and then I can come over here to finalize the settings. The resolution is fine, and the settings that I want, come over here, make sure the denoiser is on for the final render. This is all good, and then I will start to render this out. I'll go to render and then click on render image. Okay, I will wait for it to finish. All right, so the rendering is finished. This is the result. So this is it. And this is the end of the tutorial. I hope you learned something from it, from modeling to materials to lighting and adjusting the camera and finally rendering it out. Please do provide me your feedback. And if you haven't clicked on that like button, do it. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I will see you next time with another tutorial. So take care and bye bye.